The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Future Tech Podcast. I'm here today with Jason Brown with Komodo, the blockchain ecosystem secured by the Bitcoin hash rate. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Excellent. Tell us about Komodo and what it's doing for the space.
Komodo is bringing forward a lot of innovation to the blockchain sector overall. Currently, we are at the forefront of atomic swap technological development, and we have completed over 50,000 atomic swaps between many different blockchains. We are also about to release a functional atomic swap exchange with the Ethereum platform as well, that we have dubbed Atomic.
Excellent. For those that are getting into cryptocurrency, can you tell us more about what atomic swaps mean for the current state and what we might see for them in the future?
Well, atomic swaps are a exchange of coins between two different blockchains, and this technology solves a lot of the problems that we as cryptocurrency users come across in the space. We've all heard about the exchange hacks where people have lost millions of dollars. We have heard about scams where people have put their money into proxy tokens, and when they go to withdraw out, they don't have the real asset backing. Atomic swaps prevent this from happening. When you make a trade, there is no third-party middleman. It is directly between you and another peer. And the important thing about atomic swaps is either the trade completes or it doesn't. This is secured by smart contracts, and it is an essential part of the trading transaction. You don't want your funds stuck in a state where you can't retrieve them, or that the other party can retrieve them if the trade goes through. So using smart contract technology, we assure that the people that are doing atomic swaps will either get the funds that they agreed, or they will have their funds returned back to them.
What's a use case for that right now, or most recent use case that you can tell us about?
Well, our most recent use case would be the BarterDEX decentralized exchange, which is a peer-to-peer decentralized exchange. It's different than the other decentralized exchanges that are available now, which use proxy tokens. It's fully atomic swap based, and what makes this very special is that no part of the system is actually controlled centrally. Not the order matching, like in the case with blockchain-based atomic swap exchange, or the holding of coins, which in the case of escrow-based decentralized exchanges like BISC.
Okay. And how would you see a user completing one of these atomic swaps? Just give us an idea of a transaction that may happen.
Oh, okay. Well, the atomic swap exchange, exchange probably isn't the best word to describe it. It is more like an auction house. Unlike normal exchanges where you can place your entire balance and then trade from that huge chunk of balance, the atomic swap exchange is based off of UTXOs, unspent transaction output. And basically, there is a market-making bot that is part of the client that matches your UTXOs with UTXOs broadcasted by our decentralized order book, which is comprised of every client that is participating in the BarterDEX network at that time.
Okay. What's the expansion rate that you kind of foresee for 2018 with atomic swaps and BarterDEX?
Well, I see in 2018 that the technology will be first released to the public. Currently, the atomic swap exchange, it's still a little bit difficult for average users to use, but I foresee within the next around between 6 and 12 months that we will have a fully easy-to-use version that anybody, even with very minimal crypto experience, can participate in atomic swaps. Currently, right now, we have had several hundred testers use our software product, and we are constantly making improvements. So at the rate things are going, it seems that it will be ready for full release within this year.
Okay. Tell me what's unique about the Komodo platform in blockchain.
Well, what's unique about the Komodo platform is that it's way that it tackles the scalability issue. A lot of blockchains have issues with how are they going to scale? What happens when the blockchain gets too big? What happens when block size gets too full that the transaction throughput slows down? Komodo's method of dealing with these scalability issues is to load balance them across multiple blockchains. Unlike platforms like Ethereum, where when someone creates a token contract, all of that functionality is directly tied to the Ethereum blockchain, which ends up slowing it down, as we've seen with the recent CryptoKitties debacle, where the entire network grinding to a standstill over a stupid cat game.
Yeah.
So our approach is that when someone wants to build an independent project, we literally give them their own blockchain. So that way they have full autonomy over their development. They aren't affected if the Komodo developers want to go one way and they want to go another, or if they don't want to adopt technological solutions we put out, they have a full choice to do so or not, which you don't find on other platforms. Other platforms, they have a very tight coupling with the parent chain. Ours is a very loose coupling.
Okay, so they start with an independent blockchain, and then it's tied into your ecosystem. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, it gets tied in to our ecosystem through a couple different mechanisms. Delayed proof of work, which allows a third-party blockchain to notarize data to the Komodo blockchain, and then from the Komodo blockchain has its own notaries, which notarize data to the Bitcoin blockchain. And due to the nature of how hash functions work, that if you change even one bit of data that was notarized on the third-party asset chain, it would change the entire hash that would be found on the Bitcoin blockchain. So if somebody was, putting forward fake blockchain information, like claiming that their download was, the true history of a certain coin when it wasn't. It also acts as a checkpoint in case an attack is detected, that you could roll back to a certain known good point. And it makes it a lot easier for developers to recover from damage an attack should happen.
What do you see as potential security risks right now?
To blockchains in general, or sorry?
I'd say probably more within the atomic swap category.
Okay. So some of the security risks with atomic swaps is that there is a possibility somebody backs out of a trade or is posting bogus orders. However, we've implemented a fee mechanism that if somebody backs out of a trade, that they not only would they lose additional funds, they have to put up a fee plus 12% to be a liquidity provider, and they would lose the additional 12%. So it would be economically unfeasible for them to actually attack, by like a denial of service type attack by refusing to fill orders. Thus far, we haven't encountered many attacks like this because, like I said, the economic infeasibility of the attack, you would drive yourself broke eventually, rather quickly, actually.
Agreed. So what is your expansion looking at? You said you started out with 100 customers so far. What do you see as the current expansion rate from your 100 customers currently into a more broad market?
Oh, okay. Well, we see that in terms of BarterDEX is very new still. Right now, it's we would consider this about mid to late beta testing right now. However, once we start rolling out the informational campaigns, showing people how to use this, we believe it's going to catch on like wildfire. There was a lot of problems with exchanges. Notoriously, exchange customer support is horrible, and due to this, we see a shift in the public perception about wanting to control their own coins. That while centralized exchanges make things very convenient, the lack of actually holding your own money is becoming more and more of a problem, and people are looking for that solution. So we expect that it should, within the next year, the numbers of users increase to thousands or tens of thousands.
Okay, well, very good. What's your outlook for beyond 2018? We've seen a lot of developments in 2017 that have just essentially exploded the cryptocurrency world. It looks like we're in for much more regulation or regulation systems developing this year. What do you see beyond 2018?
Well, beyond 2018, I see that there's been a lot of talk about securities tokens. I believe that this is the route that a lot of people are going. I understand that certain projects like T0 have made quite a bit of headway in this front, but I believe it's going to grow very greatly. One of the current problems in the equity crowdfunding field is that when people are giving away their equity for fundraising, the people who have purchased the equity don't have a place to exchange it. So I see that the blockchain technology space really working well at solving this problem, and that industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and that's just one of the things. I see a lot more real-world use cases, logistics, just even general record keeping for use with blockchain. With blockchain.
What's exciting to you about one of those real-world cases? What's something that you would definitely be super fascinated with?
Well, one of the things I'd be really fascinated with is with medical records. I know some projects are working on that, but currently I'm not sure if many people know this, but a lot of our hospitals are under a lot of cyber attacks where people are trying to get people's medical records and such. And their current system doesn't allow really the privacy of data being sent from point A to point B. And using blockchain technology, you could not only secure that data, make sure it's not tampered with, but you could send it in a private manner using a technology like ZK snarks.
Okay, fascinating. Any final thoughts you have before we wrap today?
Well, I believe that some final thoughts is that I believe that atomic swap technology is going to come to the forefront in late 2018, maybe early 2019. It is still a very young field. There are several projects working on atomic swaps. However, most of them are only doing such in a lab environment at this point, where they have to actually do order matching outside of the application, such as through Skype or other methods. So there's a lot of room for development, and I see that people should really get to know this technology because it's going to change how cryptocurrency is used on a day-to-day basis. I see once this takes hold that the old model of exchanging crypto coins via centralized exchanges will just be a thing of the past.
Okay. And where can people find out more about you and Komodo?
They can find out more about us at komodoplatform.com, and also check out our blog on Medium or any of our social media sites. The team is very active and is more than willing to answer any questions anyone might have.
Great. Jason, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us for the Future Tech Podcast. We'll see you next time.
The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.